We don't need no speeches. We need plays. You know, we don't need any rocking speeches from him. We just need him to play and play well and play hard. And if your best player plays hard and plays unselfish, then it unites and inspires the whole group.
McGrady shoots a three. Oh! T for three! It's McGrady. Oh! Tracy McGrady! 16-point quarter. That's the end of the game. The Houston Rockets come back in the second half, led by Yao Ming and Tracy McGrady. And the Rockets win game one. Live from Toyota Center in downtown Houston, FSN Houston presents the NBA playoffs. And tonight, it's Game 2, the Houston Rockets, the Utah Jazz. Hi, everybody, I'm Bill Worrell. Good to have you with us tonight. Game 2 of the first round series. The Utah Jazz, the Houston Rockets, both teams a little tight in the first half of Game 1, but they loosened up, came out in the third quarter. Tracy McGrady exploded for a 16-point quarter, and the Rockets went on to win Game 1. But that was Game 1. You got to forget about it. It's time for Game 2, and the Rockets do not have a good history. In the last 6 playoffs in Game 2, the Rockets have lost 5 times. So really what that means when you have the home court advantage, if Utah can win here tonight, they get what they wanted to accomplish, and that was to get back to Salt Lake City with a home court advantage. Matt Bullard, Clyde Drexler. And Clyde, you know this game, too, how big it is for Houston.
Huge game, because their whole mission was to get one of these 2 games, as Bill said, and they don't care which one it is. It could be last night, or it could be Saturday, or it might as well be today. Jerry Sloan is a veteran coach. You can bet that the Jazz will give it everything they have in this game tonight.
Everybody, I said, was tight in the first half of Game 1 except Yao Ming. And, boy, he was just super and kept the Rockets in the game.
You look at the numbers, 28 points, 13 rebounds. Kept the Rockets in it because he played a consistent, good game all around on both ends of the floor. And this is how he did it. The great pass from Tracy McGrady. The high finish. Look at him with the turnaround jumper. They've got no answer for the Great Wall. There he is again with a variety of moves on the low block. He is the guy that the Jazz are having the most trouble trying to stop.
Do you look for them to maybe change the way they defense Yao Ming?
I think they're going to double Yao on the catch on the low post. And that's going to leave the court wide open for all of the other Rockets to shoot the ball with no one in their face.
All right, we talked about the front courts for these 2 teams in Game 1, but how about the back courts? Darren Williams was super, and Rafer Alston answered the challenge.
Yeah, pretty good point guard matchup. Both of those guys flirting with triple-doubles in Game 1, and, of course, they're guarding each other. So this is going to be a matchup to watch in Game 2. Now, Darren Williams is very tough when he takes the ball to the basket. Rafer really has a hard time staying in front of him, and we'll see right here. Darren is very quick, he's very strong, and he can penetrate right around Rafer. And his jump shot was pretty good in game 1, 7 for 19. Now Rafer, in Game 1, he played as a spot-up shooter. He was 3 for 11 from the field. All 3 of his makes were 3-pointers. He's going to have to continue to knock down that shot, but I'd like to see him penetrate a little more in Game 2.
Well, this is the 10th season for Tracy McGrady, and he has yet to lead his team out of the playoffs in the first round. And he admitted there was a lot of pressure on him. He accepted the challenge, but then also admitted he was a little tight in that first half.
I told myself at halftime to calm down. You know, I had to take a couple deep breaths and just gather myself together because I was on a high. You know, even before the game, coming to the arena, I'm sitting in the car and my palms is just sweating. And, you know, I just calmed myself down in the second half. And, you know, coming out of the third quarter, I was more relaxed and just more relaxed on my offense and on my jumpers. And, you know, I had it rolling.
When he wasn't shooting, Clyde, he was passing.
Well, looking in the first half, he didn't shoot. He was 0 for 6, but he had 5 assists. There he is, making his teammates better, doing what superstars do. When they're off on the field, they get everyone else involved. Shane Battier was the recipient, Chuck Hayes, Yao Ming, but in the second half, he was 8 for 12 and got his shot back, shot within his rhythm, and he was a lot more aggressive in getting his shot. And that was the difference in his overall game.
It's time now for the Toyota keys to the game, Matt.
Well, the first key, and Jeff Van Gundy talked about this, he wants a balanced offense. T-Mac and Yao combined for 61% of the Rockets' points in Game 1. That's great. But get the rest of the team involved, only 14 points off the bench. Key number 2, Rockets are going to have to box out. They gave up 14 offensive rebounds, and the Jazz had 15 second-chance points. Key number 3, protect the home court. We've been talking about that all night already. If the Jazz win tonight, they get the home court advantage going to Utah on Thursday.
Okay, Kevin and Mario, I ask you this question, Mario Elie. Coming into this game tonight now, the Utah Jazz will be desperate for a victory, and the Rockets may have to meet that challenge to start this game tonight.
Definitely Bill, Matt, and Clyde. You know Utah's going to come out. You know Jerry Sloan. They're going to be diving on the floor. Look for Boozer and Okor to play better. Those guys are 2 all-star caliber players. Look for those 2 guys to play better. And look for Jerry Sloan to mix the coverage on Yao Ming. He ain't going to just give him a dose of on the catch double team. He may come on the dribble. He may mix it up because Yao's too dominant and they don't have no answer for him.
Yeah, you know, and as far as we were talking about some other keys, and while it's not a deal breaker because obviously the bench struggled, and we understand the Rockets are not a team that relies heavily on the bench, but they only get 14 points. While that's not a deal breaker, it would certainly be a luxury to get more production off that bench for the Rockets.
Yeah, especially Kevin. Rayford Austin logged in 46 minutes. That's a lot of minutes having to chase Darren Williams. We need a guy to come off the bench like Luther or Jawan to help him and relieve the guys a little bit.
And you talk about a third scoring option, because you and I have been talking about this forever. A third scoring option from the Rockets. You know, all but about, 33 points were scored by Yao Ming and Tracy McGrady in that Game 1. You expect to get that from those guys, but man, to get one more guy in the rotation, you get whether it's a Shane Battier, a Luther Head, a Rayford Austin, that would be very nice for this ball club.
Great point, Kevin. That's huge. All the teams that are in front of the Rockets all got third option. San Antonio, Tim, Mano, and Tony. Dallas, Dirk, Howard, and Terry, and Phoenix, Nash, Marion, and Stoudemire. And the Rockets only got the big 2. Great point, Kevin. We need one more guy to step up on a consistent basis for them to go far.
Bill, Clyde, and Bull talked about it just a moment ago. Rockets scored 32 points in the first half, and we were talking about it at the time in Game 1. You know, they're only down by 7, or only down by 9 as poorly as they played. As Shane Battier talked about coming out in Game 2 and putting 48 minutes together rather than 24.
You don't last long in these playoffs by playing one half of basketball, only one good half of basketball. We know we have to play better for 48 minutes, and that's our focus tonight. We want to start strong, we want to end the quarters the right way, start the second half the right way, and try to end the game the right way.
Well, they talk about finishing strong, finishing each quarter strong. There's, every possession becomes so precious when you get into the playoffs. I want to talk about the front line as far as the Utah Jazz is concerned, because the Rockets did such a good job, but you can't expect Mehmet Okur and Carlos Boozer to go 6 for 31 from the floor again tonight.
The scary thing, Kevin, they got good looks. Okur, when Yao was guarding him, Yao was in the paint, and Okur had great looks at three-point shots, one of the better three-point shooters in the league. I look for these guys to pick up their game today, and this game is going to be at a high level. And remember, Tracy McGrady in Game 2s, Kevin, always has a big night, averaging 30 points in his career in Game 2s. So look for T-Mac to step up big tonight.
What adjustments do you see the Utah Jazz defensively throwing at T-Mac? Is it possible that Andre Karolinko could come out and see part of time on him? Because, they started with Fisher at about 6'1" on T-Mac in Game 1.
Early, I think Fisher did a great job. Guracek got into him. But look for Karolinko to get some key minutes tonight. Probably on T-Mac with his length and his height may bother him. But the one thing T-Mac has, he's a great dribbler. If Karolinko tries to come up on him, T-Mac can blow by him, create for himself and for others.
Well, the Rockets, the guys talked about it just a moment ago. If you don't take care of business here in Game 2, didn't matter what you did in Game 1, because you keep the home court advantage. You obviously have to keep winning. Rockets tonight come out, start strong, and really kind of maybe have that step on the throat mentality tonight in this ballgame.
No question, Kevin. There's a lot of pressure on the Jazz to hold their home court. They're a young team still. You got Boozer, you got Darren Williams, you got Karen Lickle, really doesn't have that much playoff experience, and you got some seasoned veteran on the Rockets side. You got Jawan, you got Mutombo, you got Tracy McGrady. So for the Rockets to come out to make a statement tonight, go up 2-0, and Rockets are capable. They're one of the better teams on the road, capable of going to Utah, not getting 2, maybe getting 1 out of 2, and ending it at home.
This place is rocking, fans looking for their team to take a 2-0 lead in the first round of the Western Conference playoffs. Game 2, the tip-off when we return to downtown Houston. You were solid, brother.
Again, everybody, and welcome to downtown Houston as we move inside Toyota Center for tonight's Game 2. Here tonight, Southwest Airlines starting lineups for the Utah Jazz. Andre Kirilenko, Carlos Boozer, Mehmet Okur, Derek Fisher, and Darren Williams. For the Houston Rockets, Shane Battier, Chuck Hayes, Yao Ming, Tracy McGrady, and Rafer Alston. Well, it's Game 2. It's been deafening in this building, and the fans have been the sixth man for the Houston Rockets. Game 2 ready to get started, and we'll be back with the tip-off in just a moment on FSN Houston. Everybody, and welcome back to Toyota Center. It is red and rowdy, and here as we get ready for Game 2, and somewhere in that madness, Patty Smith is standing by.
Well, I am standing by, Bill. I am red and I am rowdy, and you know, in Game 1, both of these teams, neither one felt like they played up to their full potential, but tonight, both teams have vowed more energy and a more balanced attack. Now, earlier today, I had a chance to catch up with both coaches, and in our Geico quote, here's Jeff Van Gundy and Jerry Sloan on their #1 priority for tonight's game.
Just try to play basketball, try to make some shots. And we shot 35%. We've always been that this team is one of the better defensive teams in the league for us to play against. And so it's difficult for us to get and be able to make the shots. We'd like to get more layups or get more free throws.
As long as we're alert tonight, I don't really, however it's characterized by us or by them, whether it was good defense or just missing shots or luck or skill, it doesn't matter. Nothing changes the outcome. We just have to get a better outcome or continue to get a good outcome. We're going to have to play a heck of a lot better.
And in order to do that, Bill, Jeff also says he needs to see more from his supporting cast.
All right, Patty, well, if you're looking for interesting quotes from Jeff Van Gundy and Jerry Sloan, you're just not going to get them. Those two guys are old school. They're down and ready to go. And Jeff Van Gundy, of course, from the Van Gundy coaching family. His dad, Bill, was a great coach in 4 decades in college and junior college and high school. And Stan, his brother, led Miami right to the brink of the championship before Pat Riley took over and guided them in. So Jeff has been around coaching his entire life, and he knows how important this Game 2 is. And of course, with Jerry Sloan, all of the years, his 19th season as the head coach of the Utah Jazz, 40 years as a player and a coach in the NBA with the Chicago Bulls, and then as an assistant along with Frank Layden at Utah. Jerry has had some great championship years with the Utah Jazz, and he's even yawning.
Did you see how nervous he looked?
Yes, that's
he was ready for a nap.
That's a look of resignation because in his mind, he's done all he can do. Now it's up to his players on the court.
All right, we'll see early in this contest what changes the two coaches have made, and there are always adjustments from games 1 to games 2, and sometimes your biggest adjustments from game 2 to game 3. So we'll see tonight what little adjustments Jerry Sloan and Jeff Van Gundy have made as Mehmet Okur will jump center with Yao Ming, and it almost doesn't look fair, does it?
It isn't fair every night.
6'11" from Mehmet Okur. And let's see how Capers throws the ball up. Yao. Well, that was a block, a volleyball block by Kirilenko. Derek Fisher, in terms of playoffs and seniority, he's got it. Taking it inside. There's Hayes with a steal. And he gets it out to Rafer Alston.
Well, the matchups are pretty much the same, except Darren Williams is on Tracy McGrady instead of Derek Fisher.
Attier wide open, misses a 3, and the rebound goes to Okur. Both of these teams shot the threes rather poorly in game 1. Rockets number 2 behind Phoenix in three-pointers in the regular season. Derek Fisher, and he misses the 3. Boozer with a long rebound from the left elbow hits it.
Well, just like in game 1, Utah Jazz start off with an offensive rebound and a second chance opportunity.
I'll tell you what, I see a little bit more intensity into the eyes of the Jazz early in this game. More of a sense of urgency.
Fisher picks up McGrady. Hayes sets the pick. Boozer leaves him. They go down to Yao Ming. Over Okur, and it's blocked by Okur. Darren Williams in the open court. And he will set up the offense. Well, Hayes is on Boozer now, and looks like Yao Ming is on Okur. And Okur shoots it from the outside and misses. And another offensive rebound. Now, this is what the Jazz do better than anybody in the NBA.
This is the reason they were ahead at halftime in game 1.
Boozer hits it over Yao Ming.
There's a lot of cross-checking going on out there. You're not guarding the guy who's guarding you on the other end, and it's very difficult to get matched up when you're in transition.
Yao Ming trying to get posted up. Okur was fronting, and look at the Kirilenko right in his lap. He shoots it over Okur for 2. The Shanghai shake from Yao Ming.
Now picking up where he left off in game 1. He's got the hot hand already.
Down low to Kirilenko. Boozer, another jumper off the mark. Hayes with the rebound. Rafer Alston rushes it up the court. Rockets got some easy shots by getting it up the court in a hurry, and Fisher with a foul on Tracy McGrady. The officials tonight, Bob Delaney, Sean Corbin, and James Capers. Delaney, Corbin, and Capers, the officials for tonight's game. The alternate is Darren Collins. Now, has it on the post up, takes it to the middle, and the foul is called on Mehmet Okur. Little contact on that. He knocked it away, but there was contact.
Yeah, he reached over Yao's body to knock it away, and that's a foul. Too much contact.
I like the way the Rockets have gone to the post 2 times to Yao, and they've gone into T-Mac 1 time on the post. You want to try to get shots close to the basket to start the game. You don't want to be jacking up threes right from the start.
Absolutely, because if you can get Yao and McGrady on the post up to start the game, I think you give them a little bit of edge, and everything opens up from the outside because of that.
Basketball is an inside-outside game.
Hakeem Olajuwon swore by that.
He was pretty successful, too, wasn't he?
Absolutely.
Brady with a 3 across the iron. Kirilenko with a rebound. Eric Fisher, number 9, all-time three-point shooting efficiency. There's Boozer taking it right by Yao Ming.
Trying to use his quickness on the low block, something he was not able to do in game 1. I think they took a look at the film and saw some opportunity.
And is thrown out of bounds by Alston as he was trying to thread the needle to McGrady. And a turnover, Houston.
Yeah, Clyde, you're right. Carlos Boozer spent a lot of time shooting over Yao Ming in game 1. Now he's going to try to get past Yao.
So much quicker.
Offensive foul on Andre Kirilenko. He just can't seem to get going. At practice yesterday during an interview, he broke down, very emotional, played only 16 minutes in game 1. And he's the $75 million man.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's playing injured, so there's no way he can shoot the ball. He's trying to find a way to make himself a factor in this game.
Now shoots it over Okur, and a loose ball foul is called on Boozer. Boy, you hate to meet him in a dark alley.
No, Boozer's a tough customer. He's got a lot of the Karl Malone traits at the power forward position.
I'd like to have him in a foxhole with you, but you'd hate to meet him.
You know, he grew up in Anchorage, Alaska.
Yeah.
No, he's a tough guy.
And went to Duke University. And again, the bounce pass inside, a little lazy.
Yeah, the bounce pass to Yao is never going to work. The Rockets have struggled all year with that entry pass.
Boozer with the jumper.
The Rockets can't afford to give this game away by creating turnover after turnover.
Boozer was 4 for 17 in game 1. And already here tonight, he is 4 for 5. He had so many field goals made in the first 4 minutes of this game. Hayes back outside, Battier with a 3 and missed it.
Rockets only shooting 16% to start this game.
Boozer hits again. Boozer said in the interview they had with him yesterday, we're going to shoot the ball better, especially myself. I'm going to shoot it better, and he's 5 for 6 to start the game. Ray Austin misses a 3. Tracy McGrady misses. Tipped up. Hayes has it. Hayes puts it back in. So the Rockets, the only 2 baskets they have are from close in.
Well, you got to get them any way you can because they're struggling a little bit on the offensive end. But second chance opportunities will keep you in the game.
Well, Boozer's got all 10 points for the Jazz. The Rockets have got to try to figure out how to stop him. Yao's on him right now.
Aaron Williams hits from the outside. Boy, 6 for 9 shooting by the Utah Jazz. That's the first basket by anybody other than Carlos Boozer.
Jerry Sloan was very smart when he said, hey, we just missed shots in game 1.
Well, it did.
Well, that's pretty obvious.
Well, that gives his team confidence to know that they're playing good enough basketball and they just got to make some shots.
For Austin just shoots it 2 feet over the basket. Hayes back up and in. Chuck Hayes, the leading scorer for Houston. He's taking all the misses and putting them back. 12-6.
That's what he does, Bill. He's the cleanup man. He's doing a great job of keeping the Rockets at least respectable so far.
Battier chasing Kirilenko. Posting up Kirilenko, trying to get a shot off. Can't do it. Picked up, and Battier's got it. And that'll be a 24-second violation. That ball never hit the rim.
Kirilenko's trying very hard to get in this game, but he's playing against Shane Battier. Shane Battier is one of the best defenders in this league.
Absolutely, especially at the small forward position. But Kirilenko, in his defense, he's not a great scorer even when he's healthy, let alone injured. His left hand is an advantage.
It looks like they're trying to get him involved early with a couple of possessions called just for him. There's McGrady turning the corner. Nice pass to Hayes. And Hayes with 6 of Houston's 8 points. And it's a 4-point Jazz lead.
Do you think that's the adjustment that Jeff Van Gundy made?
Yeah.
Let's get Chuck Hayes about 30 tonight.
I think the Rockets role players have decided that they've got to chip in.
And the basket will count for Carlos Boozer, and he is fouled on the play. Yao Ming picks up his first foul of the game. Carlos Boozer on fire. He's made 6 of his first 8 shots. Timeout on the court. Utah 14-8. Sizzling shooting by the Utah Jazz early. Well, this season, Tracy McGrady set his all-time high in assists, and most of those came from baskets by Chuck Hayes.
I'm one of the few guys who's grateful and has the privilege enough to play with such a superstar that's unselfish. I mean, he's going to find you. Whether my man is helping or my man head is turned the wrong way, all I got to do is get my hands ready and be ready to convert.
Well, he's been ready to convert early tonight. He's made all 3 of his layups. Take it, Matt.
Well, there's Chuck inside. He just steps in front of Carlos Boozer. The Jazz are not expecting Chuck Hayes to be a scoring threat, and the Rockets are taking advantage of that.
But the problem is you can't leave Chuck Hayes open underneath your basket. Every NBA player can make a layup.
What about Carlos Boozer, fellas? If he makes this free throw,
he's on fire.
Yeah, he's got 13 of their 15 points.
He's already eclipsed what he had in the first game. He only had 11 in game 1.
Well, he's the guy that's got him here, and he is their aircraft carrier, along with Darren Williams.
Brady wide open, shot that ball way too hard.
Too flat and on the way down. Same way he was shooting in game 1 in the first half.
Why don't you guys go out and tell him that?
I did tell him that at halftime of game 1, but I'm not going to take credit that he shot it better in the second half.
Did somebody guard Carlos Boozer?
He's taking Yao out on the perimeter. They actually had a pin down. Yao was slow to get out on the pin down, but Boozer's on fire. He's making tough shots.
Fisher knocks it away from McGrady.
In game 1, Yao started off on Okur, and Chuck Hayes was guarding Boozer. Now it's switched. Yao is guarding Boozer inside, and now Boozer's taking him outside and shooting jump shots.
McGrady and Fisher. And McGrady with a tough shot going to his left. Hayes gets it back. Rockets get a fresh 24. They go right back to McGrady again. Turns, baseline jumper, got it. Good hustle by Chuck Hayes to give the Rockets a second opportunity. The Jazz outscored the Rockets 15-3 on second chance points in game 1.
See, that's what McGrady's got to do. He's got this smaller Fisher on him.
McGrady's got to beat Darren Williams. He looks around. He twists inside. 360 blocked by Mehmet Okur. Down low to Williams. Now back to Boozer again. Shoots it over Yao. Off the glass, won't go. 17-10, 7-point lead by Utah. Down to Yao, point blank range. The little hook shot won't go, and Boozer with the rebound. Karolinko on the perimeter. Give it to Boozer. He's already got 15 points. Karolinko takes it inside, knocked away, and Yao Ming's got it.
Karolinko, his left hand is just not letting him do what he normally does throughout the course of a game.
A bad left thumb. And he draws a foul from Karolinko, Yao Ming. Now the reason Karolinko, of course, he has the bad left thumb, but Matt Harpering played so well in game 1, Karolinko couldn't get back in the game.
Yeah, Karolinko is so frustrated. Battier's got him frustrated. You see, he can't really handle that ball because of that thumb. And here's on the other end, little pump fake by Yao. Karolinko went for the pump fake. He is so frustrated right now.
Oh, that's an understatement.
Well, when the media asked Jerry Sloan what he would do about Karolinko breaking down, Sloan said, "I'm not a field coach. I don't really.
Not a psychologist.
Yeah, they either have to come and play, or they don't play."
Well, and Jerry Sloan said, "Heaven knows how much we need him."
Yeah.
You know, but this is the NBA. You're a professional. If you're a player, you've got to play, and the coach has to coach.
There's nothing touchy-feely about Jerry except when he was trying to guard you when he played for the Bulls. Then he was very touchy-feely.
It was more grabby-holdy, wasn't it?
Yeah. A very aggressive backcourt with Norm Van Leer, Jerry Sloan. That's going to be a foul on McGrady.
I tell you what, in this league, you're healthy about 20% of the time. So you're always playing with nagging injuries. Sometimes you just don't tell anyone, but when you're healthy, that's not the norm. Trust me.
Yeah, there's no doubt. You're always playing with banged up a little bit.
And so everyone out there has some sort of injury, so you got to gut it up, suck it up, and be a man and play the game.
Boozer again from the outside. He misses, and the rebound away for Alston. Mutombo is in the game along with Luther Head. Jaron Collins is in the game along with Matt Harpering. Those are the changes for both teams. McGrady and Gordon Giricek, and that's the old foul everybody commits on Tracy McGrady. They jump, and it's too late. McGrady will go to the line.
That is such a lethal move because he gets you going forward and he initiates the contact with his arm. He's one of the best in the league at creating the foul from this position. Gets him up in the air, and he gets a free shot at it.
T-Mac 1 for 6 from the floor so far tonight. Good move by him to get to the free throw line.
Good point, Matt. Good point. All right, for the first time in this playoff series, we're going to see Kirk Snyder checking in for Luther Head to get a little more size in there. T-Mac number 3 all-time in playoff scoring, an average of almost 30 points per game. Allen Iverson is number 2, Michael Jordan number 1. And Iverson had a huge game last night in San Antonio. And T-Mac misses the second.
Big upset. Denver beat the Spurs.
Invincible.
How about Dallas losing to the Warriors?
Harper walked. He never dribbled the ball. I was wondering when that whistle was going to come.
This is an important time for the Rockets. They have struggled all year when Rafer sat down and Luther Head runs the point guard. Luther's got to handle this basketball and run his team.
I think he's just going to bring it down and give it to McGrady in the half-court set. It will be the point forward.
McGrady over Garachek for 2. Well, he's getting closer to the basket. You're right. And it's a 2-point game now. The Jazz with the lead.
Brilliant move by Jeff Van Gundy to get Tracy McGrady the ball on the low post.
Down low to Harpring, and he gets the layup. Well, Harpring really sealed off McGrady beautifully.
He moves without the basketball just as well as Jeff Hornacek did for the Jazz when Clyde and I played. That's half the battle, to get in position before you catch the ball.
McGrady again with the turnaround. Mutombo has it knocked away. Hayes goes on the floor and gets the Rockets an extra 24. Knocked out of bounds by Garachek. Boy, this is a very physical contest again, like game 1. You got to get down and dirty, and that's what Chuck Hayes does better than anybody. They love him in Toyota Center.
Jazz by 4 here at the Toyota Center, and you still want access to the hottest tickets in town? The only way to guarantee your seats to all the Rockets' home playoff games is to put down a $250 deposit on next year's season tickets today. Call 713-627-DUMP to place your deposit today. It's playoff time. Get red and rowdy, Houston, which is exactly what I am doing right now in the red rowdy section, where these guys have been carrying the fans all season long. Now, tonight, they don't have to do quite as much because the fans are doing it on their own, but these guys have stepped it up another level. Tell us what you're doing here with these pictures.
Well, we have our funky man Prince, who's the top 5 funkiest people of all time, who leases a house from Carlos Boozer for $70,000 a month. And what Carlos Boozer did is sued Prince because he painted the house purple. I mean, purple rain. Purple rain. Purple rain.
All right, well, we're not going to find much purple out here in this crowd. It is all red. But, Bill, since you are forever my Prince, I'm going to send it back to you.
Oh, that's so nice, Patty. Thank you. I think you better check those guys out. I hope they don't have to take a test after the game's over. All right, an offensive rebound by Mutombo gives the Rockets another opportunity. T-Mac in the corner. Luther Head going to be short. They're really rushing at him. Fisher gave him very little breathing room, and Luther has really struggled getting that shot off.
I'll tell you what, the Jazz know that the Head is a very capable three-point shooter. They're not going to let him operate.
Yeah, he's now 2 for 7 behind the arc.
They're going to play him different than the way they would play Rafer Osman.
And how about Carlos Boozer, Matt?
You see game 1, he had 11. Tonight he's got 15 of the Utah Jazz, 19 points. He made a conscious effort of coming out in this game and getting it going early.
That was a defensive violation on Houston, and Derek Fisher gets the technical free throw, and Juwan Howard will check into the game.
Well, Juwan's checking in for Purple Haze.
You know, I feel sorry for Patty up there with all the rowdies.
Does she have a bodyguard up there?
She needs one.
She needs one.
Or 2.
Oh, man. Those guys are crazy up there.
Well, they are, and they have done so much to help the building get red and rowdy this season. Gordon Garachek hits. So this is a much better Jazz team tonight. 59% from the field. But this building has been electric in game 1 and game 2. There's Garachek going down hard.
Attack.
Back to Luther Head.
You got a defender on the floor. That's when you attack the basket.
That's what Luther does, taking it inside, wraparound pass to Kirk Snyder. Snyder was drafted in the first round out of Nevada by the Utah Jazz 3 years ago.
With the 16th pick, which is a pretty high pick.
Played there with Utah and then was traded to the Hornets. And Harpering hits. Well, this Jazz team getting the same shots that it got in game 1. The only difference, this time they're going down.
Well, the Guards shot the ball well, the small forwards in game 1. It was the front line of Okur and Boozer that struggled. They were 6 for 31 in game 1.
Jiricek trying to make McGrady work, and he is. McGrady finds Snyder in the corner. He passes on the 3 and then throws it away. You can't throw it through a bunch of arms. And Jiricek with a miss, and the rebound comes out, and Collins has it and saves it, and a fresh 24 for the Utah Jazz.
How many times does your center get a rebound 45 feet from the basket?
Well, he was the last guy coming down, but it was a transition basket.
I see that. He was a little slow in transition.
Well, Collins is not the quickest center in the league.
They can take the clock all the way down now. Fisher does to 4 seconds and hits the jumper. Everything going Utah's way. 3 seconds, down to 2. Luther Head gets a good look, and it was just short. Boy, a 9-2 run by the Utah Jazz to end the first quarter. The Jazz shooting 60%, the Rockets only 30%, and Houston trails by 9. Utah shooting 60% with a 9-point lead at the end of the first quarter. Let's check out the Panda Express upcoming schedule, and we will be in Salt Lake City for Thursday night's game. Will be an 8 o'clock start on FSN Houston. Saturday, April 28th, a 9:30 start from Utah on FSN Houston. And then, of course, if a Game 6 will be Game 5 back at Houston, then Game 6 and Game 7 if necessary in Houston. Well, Carlos Boozer, Matt, has really stepped up and been the leader for this Utah team.
Well, he's got 15 points in the first 10 minutes of the game. He only had 11 in game 1, and what he's done is he has come out, he's knocked down his jump shots, but he's brought the ball away from the basket. Yao Ming is guarding him, so when he's away from the basket, it pulls Yao out there, and he also has 3 offensive rebounds. So Carlos Boozer has totally turned his game around from game 1, has taken over and given the Utah Jazz a great start here in game 2.
Boozer, a 6'9", 270-pounder out of Duke. He was drafted in the 2nd round by the Cleveland Cavaliers. There's Yao short on the shot. So the Rockets are missing tonight. The Jazz are not.
The Rockets only shooting 29%.
It's similar to what they shot in game 1, and that's why the Jazz said they felt so good about it. Harpering, in and out. And Yao tips it out right to Williams. Go ahead and rebound it.
Got to go get the ball.
Yeah, go get it.
This game is a lot more physical than game 1.
What's your feeling right now as you look at it, Clyde? It looks like a much more determined Jazz team. The Rockets are going to have to play a lot harder.
You're right, Bill. I see a lot more fire into the eyes of the Jazz on every single possession.
There's that bounce pass again. You cannot bounce pass it to Yao Ming.
He's 7'6". Put it up in the air.
Nuts.
Yeah, I think the intensity level for the Jazz is about 9 out of 10, and the Rockets' intensity level is about 5 out of 10. One thing Van Gundy preaches, you got to play hard, and they're not doing it so far.
Millsap takes it to the basket. Yao is fouled from behind. No whistle. And Luther Head traveling.
Luther was totally uncomfortable out there.
I don't know which one of you said it a moment ago, but when you take Rafer out of the game, the Rockets really struggle. They have no leadership. And Luther had the ball then.
Yeah, Rafer played 46 and a half minutes of game 1.
In fact, he leads in minutes played in the playoffs.
Oh, he's an Iron Man. You think about it, only Rafer and Shane Battier played in all 82 games for the Rockets this season. They are the Iron Man of the Houston Rockets.
Now on the baseline, turnaround, got it. Well, they had a double team on him. He shot it right over him.
He was very patient. I like the way he made sure he got the shot that he wanted, not the shot that the defense was dictating to him.
Because his earlier shots, he was fading away from the basket. He's too big and too good.
Millsap takes it into Yao Ming, and the foul is on Yao. That's his 2nd foul of the game.
Hey, Clyde, how is Yao supposed to guard this? Take a look at this. Yao,
with his hands up, did he move? That's all he can do. What else is there?
What else can you expect a guy to do? He did leave his feet but he went straight up in the air. I don't know what else you can ask a defender to do.
That's a clean plate, Matt. He did not impede Millsap's progress. And when you go straight up, how can there be a foul committed? I don't get it.
There's another second round draft choice that has panned out nicely. Paul Millsap, 6'8", 260-pounder out of Louisiana Tech. Last player that Utah drafted out of Louisiana Tech was a guy by the name of Karl Malone.
They went to the well again to see if they could get something similar.
Not bad. And he's really been a nice rookie in the league.
Good pickup, good find.
28-19, Utah. Rockets still looking for a few shots to fall. And there's another turnover by Houston. Harpering with the steal. And they throw it away. Boy.
You know, when you're in middle school, they tell you to give the ball to the point guard. Well, that's the reason why.
Take a look at the turnovers so far tonight. Both teams turning it over too much here to start this game.
Juwan Howard on the drive, takes it to the basket. Contact, tipped in by Yao Ming with the left hand. Oh, Juwan was just clobbered in, but there was no whistle.
That was the same play.
Yeah.
Ran right into Collins. But when the post man has to come over to help on the drive, that frees up Yao to go get the offensive rebound.
Good point. Harpering taking it inside, and he threw it to himself. Alston in the open court picks out Luther Head. And Luther gives it back to Rayford. Yes, Rayford Alston with a three. That is the first three-pointer made by the Rockets. They're now 1 for 9.
And Rayford Alston shot that three in his rhythm. That's when you're most efficient.
Aaron Williams taking it inside, drops it off, and contact underneath. And a foul is called on Shane Battier. But Rayford Alston hits the first three-pointer of the game for the Houston Rockets, his first 3 points.
28-24, Jazz over the Rockets.
And Yao Ming's parents have gotten red and rowdy tonight.
Hey, how about that? Well, they've got a little bit to cheer about with Yao. He's got 8 points and 3 rebounds, but they need to do something about T-Mac. T-Mac started the game 2 for 8.
He's got 5 points. He's got only 1 assist. He's got to get a little bit more aggressive, but the Rockets have gotten off to a slow start. Make no mistake, because they're leaving the other guys open, and they hadn't been able to convert from three-point land until Rayford Alston made that last three.
Now the Rockets shooting 35%, the Jazz 50%, yet the Rockets are only down 4. You got to feel good about that.
Similar to game 1. I get the same feel.
Except they weren't hitting their shots like they're hitting them tonight. So Darren Collins will be at the free throw line. Not a real good free throw shooter, about average.
For a center.
I said average, so he'll probably make the second.
Yeah. Well, 65% is average.
For a center,
that's about average. Yeah, that is.
For a bona fide NBA center.
And Collins gives the Jazz a 5-point lead. Rayford in there with Juwan and Yao. Luther Head and Shane Battier. Yao Ming got Collins on him. He'll shoot it right over him. He missed it. And Juwan Howard with a loose ball foul.
Now the official, this is interesting. The official underneath didn't call it.
No.
The official from half court made that call.
Well, that's why they have 3 officials now, so they can see more fouls. Or what they think is one.
And fans behind us are saying that's not your call.
Boozer, what do they know? That's what the referees would say. What do the fans know? Boozer back into the game, picked up by Yao. Aaron Williams, 7 on the shot clock. Back to Boozer. Boozer on the drive, and a whistle and a foul is called on Rayford Alston.
Van Gundy not happy with that foul. You don't want your point guard reaching in and fouling the big guy on a drive like that. You want to force Carlos Boozer to make that tough shot over the defense. Take a look here as Rayford reaches in right there and gets it. They can make that shot.
I'll tell you what, they play 20 seconds of great defense, and they blow it by a reaching foul.
Boozer has had several key injuries that have kept him out of play over the last couple of seasons. Last year, he missed a whole bunch of time in the middle of the season, could not get back. And this year, he's as healthy as he's ever been, and he shows everybody that he is indeed an NBA All-Star.
Absolutely. He's got a wonderful NBA body. He knows how to use it, and he's very intelligent as a player.
He and Okur made the All-Star team this year, and of course Tracy and Yao for Houston. Inside to Yao Ming with a running hook shot. And Yao with 10 points. 31-26, Utah. Boozer will shoot that shot with confidence. This time he misses, and Luther Head with a rebound. Yao. Not a double team yet. Gerchek comes over. Yao. Oh, is that the China Dipper?
With the finger roll.
It looked like the Big Dipper. Will Chamberlain finger rolling it up and in.
Yao showing he's got an assortment of moves.
Harpering. Short on the shot. Jawan Howard with a rebound. Here come the Rockets now trailing by only 3. Luther Head tries to tie it up and rims it out. Luther still trying to find his shot.
That's the shot you shoot if you're on the roll. But if you're trying to find your range, you want to be a little bit more patient.
Aaron Williams hits a long 2. Well, the Jazz have done a pretty good job of keeping this crowd out of the game here in the early going. Rockets have trailed all the way. Now down the baseline. Oh, my goodness, he was just hammered.
A lot of contact.
Aaron Williams with a hook pass to Harper. He puts it on the floor. Oh, Shane went and got it and then fell out of bounds.
Now 2 possessions ago, let's take a look at the Yao post-up. Yao's right here. Let it run, guys. So we're going to have Shane Battier come to the corner here. Now when we get the ball to Yao, stop it here. See, we got too many defenders right here. Shane's got to get out of the way, and Rafer's got to cut too. Let it run. As soon as those 2 guys get out of the way, then Yao can play one-on-one with no problems with the double team, and he can finger roll.
Yes, he can.
Okur goes for the pump fake. He can't block his shot anyway.
Grady back into the game for the Houston Rockets. And Mehmet Okur misses on the jumper. Boy, he is still struggling, trying to find his shot. One of the best shooters in the NBA this season, but he has struggled in this series. Rafer turns the corner, back out to Shane Battier. And knocked out of bounds by Kirilenko. 10 seconds on the shot clock. We'll have a timeout on the court. 5:56 left to play in the second quarter. And the Rockets making a little run back at the Jazz. 33-28. We welcome you back to Toyota Center, 33-28, Utah. The Rockets have cooled off the Jazz just a little bit now. The Rockets outscoring Utah 11-7 here in the second quarter. And Yao Ming playing with 2 fouls. Rockets will have 11 seconds on the shot clock. Here in the second quarter, Utah is 1 for 8. The Rockets are 5 for 10. Will shoot the jumper. That's going to be short, and it's tipped away by Kirilenko. Boozer with a miss.
I don't know if it's a Rockets defense that has tightened up, or the Jazz have gone a little bit cold, but Rockets need to make some hay right now.
T-back to the right.
That's a good start.
Well, when you're struggling from the outside, what do? You attack the basket. That's exactly what he did, and he had a lot of success with it.
He was hanging in the air like you did, Clyde.
Mehmet Okur misses again. Kirilenko lost the ball, and McGrady saves it. on the drive, and a foul on Kirilenko. Basket will not count. You know what's strange to me, fellas? Kirilenko just hammered McGrady back at the other end. There was no whistle. He barely touches him this time, and there's a whistle. I didn't see what Kirilenko. Oh yeah, he put his left hand on his right elbow.
Okay. He had his hand on him, guiding him the whole way. That's a foul. There's no hand checking.
That's kid stuff when y'all play.
Oh, hey, that would have been a no call.
Hey, if you weren't hand checking, you weren't playing. Coach would be like, why aren't you hand checking?
33-30 now. The Rockets need a basket to keep going. On to Yao Ming. Yao working on Okur. And is blocked by Okur. And a 24-second violation on the Rockets. So Okur has blocked Yao Ming twice already in this game.
He's got Yao's jump shot lined up. Now is the time for a pump fake.
Well, he's got Yao going up at an angle, which makes him shorter. If he goes up and uses his full vertical height, there's no way Okur can block his shot.
Aaron Williams around the pick and roll, and Yao with the rebound. Coming with his 7th board of the game. McGrady goes for the tie. In and out. 4:18 left in the second quarter.
Just yet another low-scoring affair between the Jazz and the Rockets.
Well, it started out like it wouldn't be, and then they tightened it up except for Boozer, and Boozer draws the 3rd foul on Yao Ming. We may have to give Yao some help on him tonight.
Especially if he continues to put it on the floor and take it to the basket.
Now watch Okur as he goes to the right, and then he causes the contact. Again, Yao is just playing straight up and down.
They got to shade him one side or another and bring help from the weak side. He's a lot quicker than Yao off the dribble.
Carlos Boozer likes to go left most of the time. That time, he switched it up and went to his right.
Boozer 68% from the free throw line in the regular season.
Wait for the release.
And tonight, Carlos Boozer with 18 of Utah's 34 points. To say it's a good thing he got on the bus.
Not for the Rockets.
Not for the Rockets, but a good thing for the Jazz.
Yeah, he's had quite a year. He's put up Karl Malone-like numbers for 1 year, but he obviously doesn't have longevity yet. But he'll have a great career.
He's a good young player.
McGrady, T-Mac to the rack again. Harpering on the wing for the layup.
Well, you can't admire your great move. You got to get back on defense.
Exactly what Tracy did that time. Well, he drove to the basket. Someone should have had his back.
T-Mac was bumped a little before he got the ball. And Williams at the free throw line to Boozer. Boozer down to Harpering again. And the foul is called on Houston. Count the basket. And it's Tracy McGrady's 2nd foul of the game.
Now take a look at Matt Harpering. He's on the weak side. Here he is right here, and he is going to, well, here's the ball. He's going to cut all the way underneath behind 2 Rockets' backs and get that basketball. That's what I talk about when you say move without the ball. Matt Harpering cut hard. The defense was not ready for that, and he got himself a layup.
Well, it looked like Tracy McGrady. He's over there right now with Keith Jones, and McGrady got a stinger. There's a miss. Brady may have had his hand caught in the net that time.
And it is his right hand, his shooting hand.
McGrady goes left. Battier with an extra pass to Rafer Alston, and he misses. And the rebound on the floor. Rafer's got it back. Rafer, Jawan, and he's fouled. He'll shoot 2. Foul is called on Matt Harpering. Matt Harpering was heavily recruited as a high school football player, and you can see why.
Well, he's a 2-sport athlete. He's got a great body. He's strong. He can shoot the lights out of it.
Yeah, he really is strong. And I was looking at him years ago when he was first drafted into the league, and his grandfather played for the Army. His father Jack played at Michigan. His uncle Chip played at Notre Dame. His brothers John and Brian played at Akron and Northwestern. So that is Boy, can you imagine what that family gathering used to be like at Christmas time?
Yeah, the family picnics there, playing a little snow football. Beat the heck out of each other.
Got a little physical, didn't it? So Juwan gets the free throws, and it's back to a 5-point Jazz advantage with 3 minutes left to play in the first half. And more scoring in this game than we had in game 1. Boozer wants the basketball. Now Chuck Hayes is behind him. He picked up his dribble, goes baseline, tough shot, good defense by Chuck. Now the Rockets need to start making some baskets.
The defense has picked up. Now the offense has got to follow suit.
McGrady hits. Tracy McGrady with 11. And it's a 3-point Jazz lead. Aaron Williams picked up by Rayford, pushed into the middle, back to Mehmet Okur. Juwan got out on him fast enough. Okur short on the shot, and the foul on Mehmet Okur. He is just frustrated. He's had a great season in the regular season, but he's shooting cold here in the series, and Tracy McGrady starting to heat up now, and the game is on. Rockets down by 3.
Jazz over the Rockets as the Power Dancers do a little Proud Mary. Guys.
All right, thank you so much, Patty, as the dancers doing a good job here keeping the crowd entertained. Except for that guy, he's entertaining by himself.
Wait a minute. He's great because he has on the number 34. Come on. Show some love.
I think Akeem would be embarrassed. But Yao and T-Mac started out 3 for 12 for the game. They've since gone 7 for 13. Tracy having a 6-point quarter as the Rockets have held the Jazz to only 13 points here in the second period. Without Yao Ming in there to post up now, it's Tracy back to Rayford. Rayford taking it inside, back into the corner. Battier is open, hits a 3. Shane Battier, second 3-pointer of the game for Houston, and the Rockets have tied it at 39.
The small lineup is showing great dividends for the Rockets. Chuck Hayes playing the center position.
Derek Fisher taking it in for 3. Derek Fisher, number 8 among active players in the number of playoff games with 117. Robert Horry, number 1 with 211 playoff games.
Serious company. Big shot ball from Derek Fisher. A role player who does really well in the playoffs.
Brady trying to give the Rockets a lead. Hayes runs it down. Rockets get a fresh possession.
I got to set something up here.
Rayford turns the corner. In the corner again. Battier in and out. This time it would not go. We're under a minute left to play in the quarter. Aaron Williams now spreading them out, giving them a little more court run.
Going to use the clock. Go 2 for 1.
Fisher again from the corner. Ooh, he hit the top of the backboard, and it'll be Rayford's ball. Over to McGrady. McGrady going for a 3, way off the mark. And Hayes with a rebound, giving the Rockets the final shot of the quarter.
The T-Mac talking to the ball. He wants that thing to go in.
And 6 offensive rebounds for Chuck Hayes. And the Rockets will take a 20-second timeout. There's a difference of about 1/10 of a second in the shot clock and the game clock. So let me ask you, fellas, wouldn't that be something? The Rockets have not led so far in this game. They trail now by 2.
Well, the first half has been full of intensity. Obviously, both teams trying to make adjustments. The Jazz have come out with a little bit more intensity, but the Rockets now, with the last possession of the half, have a chance to tie it. That would be demoralizing for the Utah Jazz.
What do you think they're calling here?
Well, I think they're going to go 1-4 flat with Tracy McGrady at the top and let him create something off the dribble.
Yeah, with 3 fouls, they're not going to bring him in, I don't think. So T-Mac is going to have to create Going to have to put the pressure on the Jazz defense to try to stop him or double him. If he does get doubled, then that puts the pressure on the Rockets shooters to knock down a three. Now, the Utah Jazz in the second quarter were 4 for 16 from the field. They have gone cold. So it would be a huge success for the Rockets to come away with the lead at halftime.
All right, let's see what they do now. Shane Battier will bring the ball in. Just under 18 seconds left to play in the first half. Garicek is on McGrady.
1-4 clock. Tracy's going to try to take him off the dribble and create something on his own.
9 seconds, down to 8, down to 7. T-Mac to the rack, and he's fouled out front, and they had a foul to give.
Smart play by the Jazz. Good timing. Now 6 seconds left. Still plenty of time to get off a quality shot to end the half.
I thought the Rockets wasted too much time knowing they had a foul to give. And a smart play by the Jazz to give it as late as possible. And now D. Brown, his first action in this series as he comes in for Garicek. So they're going for quickness now. D. Brown will match up with Luther Head, and they'll switch over. Harper on T-Mac. All right. T-Mac and Harper. Tracy goes for the three-pointer. He was fouled on the arm that time, fellas. That was pretty obvious.
He's pissed about it because he really wanted that call. Hit him on the arm, no call, right in front of the official. You see him conferring before he leaves the court.
Well, the score here at halftime, the Jazz 41, the Rockets 39. The Jazz outscoring, being outscored 22-15 in that second quarter. Stay with us. Tonight's Lexus halftime report comes your way after the break.
Game one. Oh, this is game two. It looked like game one because it's some deja vu all over again. First half looked very similar to what we saw the other night.
What did I say? What was my word, Kevin? Ugly first half. Just two teams just battling out. We talked about this is the way the series was going to go. Boozer, a big factor in the first half, but Yao Ming 3 fouls. I think that's a big number for me.
Well, Carlos Boozer, he played like a guy that was not happy with the way things went in game one. Looked like he was out to show himself off early on. They scored 15 of the first 17 points for the Utah Jazz.
Yeah, we talked about that in the pregame, Kevin. We knew one of the all-star forwards wasn't going to have another bad game, and Boozer really stepped up big. But got to credit the Rockets for hanging in there. Yao Ming getting his third foul, and like I always mention, defense always keeps you in the game when your offense is not going well.
Well, right now the Rockets, though, shooting 35% in the first quarter, and boy, they're settling for a lot of outside shots right now. They shoot 8 three-pointers in the first quarter. They come back and shoot 9 in the second quarter. 17 too many right now?
Yes, Kev. You know what drives me crazy? When you see a guy closing out on you, all you got to do is pump fake. Guys are shooting contested three-pointers. Those are the worst shots in the game. If you see a guy coming at you, pump fake, he's gone. Make a play going to the basket. If a guy helps out, you got dump off and got an extra pass for another shot.
Yao Ming picks up his second foul just under 10 minutes to go in the first half. Picks up his third foul at the 4-minute mark of the first half. Rockets were down 3 at that point. Now they're down 2. Now he's got to be playing, though, in the second half with 3 personal fouls. Can he stay just as aggressive?
I hope so, but the Jazz are doing a great job. They really established Boozer early, and that was my concern for Yao Ming, trying to contain these mobile big guys, and Boozer and Okor are mobile big guys, and I don't know why Van Gundy's not putting Yao Ming on Okor. Okor really is not doing anything. Put Chuck Hayes on Boozer. I thought they made a little adjustment later in the second quarter by putting Chuck Hayes and Juwan Howard on Boozer.
Well, speaking of Chuck Hayes, we'll see what Chuck Hayes has been up to over the last 3 days. That and more. The Lexus halftime report continues in a moment. Jazz up by 2 at halftime. It's been a big week for a lot of different Rockets, but none bigger than Chuck Hayes. Not only is he playing in his first playoff series, but welcomed his first child.
I kept telling myself the whole time, I was like, it's okay. It's going to be a false labor. We're going to go home, get a couple hours of sleep, go to shoot around, and sleep for the rest of the day. But it didn't go like that. It did not go like that at all. When he came out, first thing I did was call Coach, and I called Keith Jones just to give him an update what's going on. And mentally, I was tired. I was really tired, and I was like, I don't know how I'm going to make it through this game if I have to. Me and my dad was talking. He was like, did you just deliver a baby? I was like, nah, I didn't. He's like, you should play. And I was like, you're right. And I was like, I told Coach I wanted to play, and he said it's fine with him, and just had to give it everything I had.
I knew I had a job to do. I didn't want to let my teammates down. We've gone through this grind throughout the whole season of holding each other accountable, so I didn't want to let them down. And, it was such a joy, and before I left him yesterday before the game, he wasn't opening up his eyes yet. So when I got there late last night, first thing I wanted to do was look at him, and his eyes open up, and he looking at me, and I'm looking at him, and man, it's just the greatest feeling in the world. That was one heck of a 20 hours. It puts life in perspective, man. Life is just so cherished, especially young life, and when it's your own, man, you'll do anything for it.
Well, sleep fast, young man, because you won't be sleeping much over the coming months. He wants to stay in the playoffs as long as possible for more reasons than just one. All right, let's talk about keys to the game in the second half.
Number one, Kevin, only 6 free throws in the first half. Rockets are selling for too many outside shots. Let's drive the ball to the basket. One thing we talked about in the pregame bench play, only 4 points, 13-4 Utah. And I think third, let's come out like the last time in the third quarter. First 5 minutes in the third quarter, let's establish Yao and Tracy. Hopefully y'all can stay out of foul trouble and be aggressive.
Well, it's 41-39 at halftime here in Toyota Center, Game 2. And I'm here with Matt Bullard and Clyde Drexler. And we've seen a first half where the Rockets have managed only 35% shooting and still trail by only 2. And Yao Ming has been held in check somewhat tonight, Matt. He has done a good job of getting the basket, but he has 3 fouls.
Yeah, foul trouble will be a problem for Yao. He needs to play the second half, staying out of foul trouble. But as far as putting the ball in the basket, he was 5 for 12. I think Yao can get some better looks at the basket. He needs to be more patient. But the looks that he did get, he was very effective. He had 12 points and 6 rebounds. And again, the Jazz continue to play him one-on-one. They try to double on the dribble, which is too late.
On the other hand, Tracy McGrady. Look what he's done. 5 for 16 in the first half. 2 years posting up, taking the ball to the basket. I'd like to see more of that as he's 0 for 5 from three-point land. He's had a lot of success doing exactly that. The Dipsy Doodoo. He's known for that. But when the outside shot is not working, what do? You attack the basket.
I've seen you do that before.
Oh, yeah.
That's an old Clyde Drexler move. Go to the basket when you can't hit that outside shot. Now, coming out in the third quarter, establish yourself, right?
Well, the Rockets are 2 for 17 from three-point land. That's way too many three-point shots, and they're not making very many. Take the ball into the basket, get it into Yao Ming, post Tracy McGrady, improve your efficiency.
And keep playing defense on everybody, because right now Boozer the only one scoring for the Utah Jazz.
Boozer had 19, and Matt Harpring with 8 off the bench was very effective. He was very active, but the Rockets defense needs to tighten up on Boozer, maybe double team him.
Okay, we'll be back with the second half, Game 2, in just a moment. Rockets trailing by 2. Well, moments away from the start of the third quarter here in Game 2, Toyota Center. Let's check out the first half stats. And not a lot of report. The Rockets still shooting only 35% from the field, and the Rockets 2 for 17. So all of the offense for Houston coming from the perimeter. Points in the paint. When the Rockets do go in the paint, they usually do a pretty good job of scoring. Okay, let's go courtside. Here's Patty Smith.
Well, thank you, Bill. And I had a chance to speak with assistant coach Tom Thibodeau here in the break, and he said that defensively, number one job is to stop Carlos Boozer. They want to make his catches harder in the post. He's just getting way too many looks, and they want to get more pressure on him. Offensively, they want to see more pick and rolls. He wants these guys to get up the floor quicker and post Yao more. Also, he wants to, on the three-pointer, he wants to show the shot and then drive versus just taking the wild three-point shots. So that's their goals offensively, Bill.
All right, Patty, as we take a look now at the leading scores, Boozer had 15 of those 19 points in the first quarter. And since then, he's cooled off a little bit. Matt Harpring came off the bench and did a great job, and you see why now Kirilenko's not playing very much, because Harpring is playing so well. And it's Fisher, Williams, and Giracek. Yao Ming with 12, Tracy McGrady with 11, but McGrady had to work hard for those 11 points, as he is only 5 of 16 from the field. And you look for him to come out a little looser here in the third quarter?
A little bit looser, much like Game 1. Realizing that his shot is not working. Let's be more efficient post a little bit, do something going to the basket, because what they did was they collapsed on him and he passed the ball to Rafer, Battier, and Luther Head, but they're 2 for 11 combined. So in the second half, Tracy McGrady is going to take matters into his own hands, much like he did in game 1.
Yeah, T-Mac, he's played 5 game 2s in his career. He averages over 30 points a game, over 7 rebounds. So in game 2s in his career, he's been very successful. Look for him to pick it up here in the second half.
The problem is for the Rockets team-wise, they've lost 5 of their last 6 game 2s. And if you go all the way back to 96-97, the conference semis against Seattle, Utah a couple of times, the Lakers and Dallas. So here we go now with the start of the third quarter. Aaron Williams and Rafer Alston matching up again. Brady coming off a pick, got Derek Fisher right up in his jersey. Yao Ming with a little fake this time and had it blocked. Back out to Alston. Yao in the paint, and he's fouled, and it counts. And Okur took an elbow to the head. He's scratching his noggin right now.
He's having a tough night.
And here's Yao as he takes it in. Nice pump fake. I like to see that pump fake, but Kirilenko out of nowhere blocks it right back into him. Repost, that's not really a repost, but it's a great job by Rafer to get it back into the big man with the clock running down.
We forget sometimes Kirilenko has been in the top 3 or 4 rebounders the last 4 years in the NBA. And so he gets a block there. You have to watch him from the weak side. Just like that, the Rockets have taken their first lead of the game. Can you believe that?
No, as bad as they played, 2 for 17 from three-point land, but yet they lead in this game.
Kirilenko, man, what a wild shot that was.
That'll buy him some more time on the bench.
McGrady, too hard on the 3. Everything Tracy's shooting is like a howitzer. I mean, he's just firing it up there. Except the one he was fouled on. There's the Battier, that last shot.
There's Derek Fisher trying to throw a bounce pass to the post guy. It doesn't work.
McGrady, Kirilenko. McGrady with a jumper, and he's off again. And Battier knocks it out of bounds. Well, it doesn't look like McGrady. Sometimes he can get that jumper going, but it looks like he's throwing a screwball when it comes out of his hand.
He's got some side spin. Instead of coming straight through it with back spin, he's turning it a little bit, kind of throwing a curveball.
I agree. He's still not releasing it at the top of his jump.
Well, the ball went through about 8 Rockets. Counting some bench players, and Fisher takes it.
Fisher is a heads-up player, knowing that Yao has 3 fouls. He challenged Yao that time and got away with it.
It's unlucky they had the rebound, and we have a whistle on the perimeter. And a foul is called on Boozer.
Carlos Boozer had his left hand hooked around Chuck Hayes' waist, kind of guiding Chuck Hayes where he wanted him to go. Bob Delaney saw that. It's an old veteran move that Clyde used to use.
Oh, I live for that move.
That way you can hold the picker and the pickee.
Especially as I got older.
James Battier with a left-handed hook shot, and it rattles and goes. And Battier with 5 points.
The Rockets desperately need more production from him in this game.
At least be a threat. There's Fisher bouncing out over McGrady, and McGrady really charged at Fisher. So now the Rockets, their biggest lead of the game has been only this 1 point. They'd like to build on that here in the third quarter, much like they did in game 1. Chuck Hayes giving it up to McGrady. McGrady turns inside, and an offensive foul on Hayes.
On the handoff, Chuck Hayes moving his feet a little bit, getting in the way of Derek Fisher.
I call him a pulling guard. Offensive tackle.
Got that mentality, doesn't he? And Williams. And a foul is called on Rafer Alston. The referee's trying to tighten it up.
One thing I can say about the Rockets in this game tonight is that their offense is sputtered, but their defense has kept them in this game, and that's the reason they now enjoy a 1-point lead.
Yeah, until Boozer gets it.
And there's that pick and roll. The Rockets still have to solve that.
That's a pick and fade.
Pick and pop, yes.
Yeah. Lost control of the ball on the way up. Aaron Williams. Gets it back outside, 15 on the shot clock. Okur to Boozer again, gets wide open and hits.
Boozer is on fire again.
It's not going to work. Yao can't get out there, guys.
No, especially off the pin down, which is a down pick.
And Yao has 3 fouls. I'd like to see Chuck Hayes take Boozer.
Well, he did in the second quarter and shut him down. Grady gets a step. And he draws the foul. He'll shoot 2.
T-Mac was fouled before the whistles blew. I think the officials were giving him the chance to get that shot up so he could at least get some free throws.
Get the and one. I tell you what, though, that's a smart move to be aggressive and take it to the basket. Because 3 things happen when you take the ball to the basket. 1, you just may make a shot. 2, you can create for your teammates. And the 3rd thing is you can get to the foul line.
So Kirilenko picked up the foul, and let's see, Kirilenko, he has 4 fouls in this game now, so Andre really struggling, and McGrady gets both free throws. T-Mac only 5 of 18 from the field, but 3 of 4 from the free throw line. He has 13 points, and the Rockets trail by a point. Boozer will fire it up again. This time he misses. That was a little too far out. Inside to Yao. He's down deep. Lays it up and in. When he gets it down there, he is tough to stop.
He just overpowers the Jazz defenders when he gets it deep in the paint.
17 points for Yao Ming. 8 minutes left to play. We played 4 minutes into the 3rd period. Rockets lead by a point. Aaron Williams with a 3-pointer, and he hits it. For Williams, that's his first 3 of the game, and his first attempt, his first make. Didn't make any in game 1. Grady. Oh, that's way off.
You can see it by the release. The true releasing is really common.
Aaron Williams gets by. Austin, no help. So 5 points in a row for Darren Williams.
It looks like he saw the stat sheet at halftime, saw that he only had 5 points. So he's turning it up here in the 3rd quarter.
You know, he averages almost 17 points a game and 9 assists. So he can pick it up.
Baker with a miss. And Okur misses again. He's 0 for 4 tonight.
He's got no confidence out on the floor. After every miss, his head goes right to the floor.
Game 1, he was 2 for 14. There's Hayes fouled going to the basket by Darren Williams. Well, that's a smart foul because Chuck struggles a little bit from the free throw line, so you might as well make him make the free throws.
When you say a little bit, exactly what do you mean?
A little bit.
You saw the pass from T-Mac. That T-Mac to Chuck Hayes pass has been effective all year long. And now we'll see how many lane violations we'll have on Chuck Hayes' free throw.
We won't have any on this first one.
Hey, 61% normally from the free throw line.
Now there'll be a bunch.
Now this second one will look a lot like Charles Barkley's golf swing.
A lot of hitches.
I never saw anyone tear up the turf more than Charles on that swing.
Well, Kirilenko was standing in front of Hayes when he released it. I don't know why they don't watch any tape.
I tell you what, this is the playoffs, and you would think everyone would be aware of Chuck Hayes' free throw hitches.
That's just not concentrating at all from Kirilenko.
He had all 3 Utah Jazz players in the lane.
There he goes again.
Did it again. At that time, Chuck got the free throw to go, and it's 52-50 Jazz.
Kirilenko was saying that was a block.
He doesn't make those calls.
He's from Russia.
Yeah. Aaron Williams with a jumper from the outside. Now he has come alive with 7 points in a row.
You notice the Jazz keep going back to the pick and roll with Yao Ming with either Boozer or Williams coming off. and they're having success with it.
McGrady to the basket. Got it and one. Kirilenko has just picked up his 5th foul of the game.
This isn't one small step for Mankind. It's one large step for T-Mac to the basket. Look at this. Big step and one for T-Mac. What a move.
Look at the hang time.
When you're in the Space City, it is one giant step.
You guys are getting too deep for me.
You know, well, you weren't around then. You were too young. You know, he's got to get going. If he doesn't score, I don't think the Rockets can win this game.
My first key was balanced scoring. Now, you've got to have balanced scoring. You've got to have guys like Rafer and Shane Battier and Luther Head knocking down shots. But T-Mac has got to be T-Mac.
He's got to score. He's got to be more aggressive, looking for his shot. And when that happens, the Rockets are clicking on all cylinders.
Three-point play the old-fashioned way. And the Rockets down by a point. 54-53 Jazz. And Mehmet Okur on the post, back to Williams. Williams gets a pick, tries to get it back to Okur. The ball popped right back to Darren Williams. He missed. And the rebound to Chuck Hayes. Hayes with 10 rebounds now. He's 2 points away from a double-double. T-Mac steps back, shoots a three. He's fouled. He'll shoot 3 free throws. Fisher fouled the shot. And we've got a timeout on the court. When we come back, McGrady will try to give the Rockets the lead.
欢迎中国的球迷观看 NBA 季后赛，感谢你们支持休斯顿火箭队。
Well, if you understand Mandarin, you understood Yao Ming welcoming our Chinese viewers. I did not understand it, but that's what they told me.
Ni hao ma.
Oh, wow. Very nice.
One word.
And again, you know, in China, they're having breakfast with Yao. That's what they do when the Rockets play, especially in Shanghai, his hometown.
He is a king in Shanghai, and rightfully so.
Yeah. Well, he's pretty big in Beijing, too. Everywhere we went.
He is huge.
When we were in China with him, he's like traveling with a rock star. Exactly. It's just incredible.
Well, what are you talking about? He's big here.
He's big everywhere. He's such a great ambassador for China. He's such a nice young man.
I know you go over there a lot, so you know that.
Absolutely.
He's got 1.5 billion fans pulling for him.
That's a pretty good fan club.
It is, isn't it? A lot of support there.
So McGrady will have 2 more free throws.
3 free throws, I always felt were the hardest ones. The last one is the hardest one to make because it's so unusual that you shoot 3.
Well, in the old days, they had 3 to make 2, remember? The hat trick. You may be too young to
I was too young for that.
Yeah, you weren't there. You were too, Clyde.
No, I remember that. Come on.
I remember watching. I never played when they had 3 to make 2.
56-54. Tracy makes both. It's an 8-0 run now. As Boozer with the jumper, and he ties it up at 56.
He's got 25. Rockets still have yet to figure out how to stop him.
Down to Yao Ming. And it's knocked away by Okur, and Okur could not handle the ball. Still 10 seconds on the shot clock. When he puts that ball down low where Okur can get it,
not a good move. You want to keep it high. He has his most success when he keeps the ball high above his shoulder. There's no answer when he does that.
And when you keep it high, then your elbows are out too.
T-Mac, tough jumper. They're really making it hard on him. And Bob Delaney, the official underneath, Sean Corbin said, I didn't see it. So Delaney called it out on Houston. Iracek coming off a pick, misses. Okur uses that 6'11" height to get over Hayes. Boozer on the drive for 2.
Again, Boozer challenging Yao Ming, taking the ball to the basket. Yao with 3 fouls. kind of handicapped at this point in the game.
Every time the Rockets get a 1 or 2 point lead, the Jazz come back with consecutive baskets. Inside for 2, great pass. Hayes talked about it earlier. And Tracy can find him, and a double-double for Chuck Hayes. He's 10 and 10. That's his first ever, of course, in playoff history. This has been a short one for him. Darren Williams, finger rolls it up, missed it, and Yao holds it high. Grady cut off by Garicek. Takes it inside, and Gordon Garicek and McGrady off the glass. And the basket will not count.
Spectacular shot, but they're not going to allow the continuation. There he is going to his left. Garicek has no help. Had to foul him.
That looked pretty close to continuation to me, though. I thought maybe he had a chance of getting that call.
I would have lost a vocal cord if that would have counted.
How many do you have left?
Not very many. McGrady. So Tracy now 8 of 9 from the free throw line. Rockets 15 of 16. They came in after game 1, number 4 among the 16 teams in the playoffs, shooting 81% from the line. And McGrady knocks it away, and Shane knocks it back to Rafer Alston. T-Mac gets help on a double team. Back to Hayes. Hayes back out to Battier. Alston on the drive. Nowhere to go. Battier down to Yao. Yao working on Okur. Shanghai shake. Bodies fall.
Everywhere. No call.
Like a neighborhood bowling alley. Pins going everywhere. Okur back to Williams. Aaron Williams back to Okur. Boozer on the drive. Lays it up. Missed it. Wow. Rafer on the drive for 2 and 1. Rafer Alston.
There's Rafer taking it to the basket, finishing with the left hand. How about this? T-Mac likes it. The bench likes it. You gotta love that.
The fans love it.
Yes.
And remember, this is much like game 1 where the Rockets started to take command of the game in the third period.
But you know, Matt, it looked like they expected him to peel it back out like he always does. That time he just kept going. And the Rockets now on an 11-4 run as Rafer tries to make it a 12-4 run. And he does. Rockets are 16 of 18 from the free throw line, and that's where they're leading this game right now. 62-58, largest lead of the game for Houston. Aaron Williams. Gordon Garicek with the jumper. Short. And the rebound to McGrady. T-Mac with a jumper. Too long. He's really way off with that jump shot, fellas. He's going to have to find some other way to score. That jumper just not in the arsenal tonight. Rockets with a lead.
62-58. The Rockets over the Jazz.
Tell you what, everybody in town ought to take a look at what the Rockets are doing. The Astros are coming on, and I just hope the Texans can come back.
All right, let's get a quick mayoral perspective on this matchup here tonight.
Well, Boozer has been pretty hot, and we were cold at the beginning, so we're starting to wear him down. Tracy's taking over.
All right, I think you're doing a great job. I think our job here is in jeopardy, Bill.
Thank you, Patty. And McGrady now lost the ball going up. And he gets it back, and it's not away, and 7 seconds on the shot clock for Luther Head. Juwan Howard will have to shoot it. That's way short. Way out of his range, and so good defense.
I think the mayor knows what he's talking about.
Oh, he's a big sportsman.
Loves the game.
I certainly would not want to switch jobs with him.
He's got a tough job, no doubt. But what he said was absolutely right.
Patty was trying to get a ticket fix, though. There's a jumper by Boozer, and this game's tied up again at 62, so these two teams have never let the other one get too far ahead.
This is the way I expected this series to go all 7 games. Back and forth.
I agree, Matt. Nip and tuck.
Another short shot by Juwan. He's just not quite close enough. The bench for Houston with 4 points. Snyder has 2, and Howard, Juwan with 2. Boozer with a turnaround. That's short, and Luther Head.
That was great defense by Juwan Howard on Carlos Boozer, but you've got to be able to score to win this game.
McGrady will work on Harpering. And McGrady finally gets a jumper to go, and it's a 3-pointer. That's his first 3-pointer of the game, and only the 3rd for the Rockets. 3-point lead. 50 seconds left in the quarter.
McGrady 7 for 23, but the Rockets desperately need McGrady to continue to try to force shots up.
Harpering short. McGrady blocked 2 of Matt Harpering's shots at the end of game 1. Juwan Howard. Luther Head turns inside, lost the dribble momentarily, gets it to Mutombo, and he's fouled. Oh, how did that work?
Good interior passing by the Houston Rockets.
Now take a look here. Here's Mutombo. But as Luther gets into the teeth of the defense, watch how the Jazz just collapse. Nice little pass inside there. And Matt Harpering coming out to slap down on Mutombo's arm. Matt Harpering actually comes out. Look, he's holding his hand. So he actually hurt his hand on Mutombo's elbow. Those elbows are still working.
No, they work overtime.
Yeah, his hand is hurting. He's still struggling with that.
It's a shooting hand. We'll see how long it hurts.
Until the next shot. Mutombo puts it up and in, and Battier now will come in for T-Mac. Tracy has played 30 minutes, 33 for Alston. And Mutombo will have 1 more. Yao Ming picked up those 3 fouls in the first half, so Jeff wanted to let him sit the final minutes here of the 3rd quarter. And Mutombo with 2 good free throws. So for Deke, he gets on the score sheet.
In his 88th playoff game of his career.
Rockets up by 5 points. Last possession. Millsap has it out front, giving it up to Darren Williams. 10 seconds, no shot clock. Almost a steal by Rayford. Gerichek can't get the shot off inside to Harpering. Wild shot, almost tipped in, and the rebound of Mutombo, and that ends the quarter. So the Rockets come alive in the 3rd quarter again in game 2. And here we go to the final 12 minutes. Rockets with the lead.
Energy and intensity for 48 minutes. Hard-nosed Rockets basketball. Here we go, baby. Win on 3. 1, 2, 3. Play.
It's Red and Rowdy in Toyota Center tonight as we head for the 4th and final quarter. Time to check in on tonight's AIG Big Man Watch.
Well, take a look at it. Every night it seems to swing in the Rockets' favor. Yao Ming with 17 points, 7 rebounds. Okura has 6 rebounds, but he's been unable to score in this game so far.
Well, the Rockets scored 31 points in that 3rd quarter, fellas. They held the Jazz to 21, 31-21 Houston, and the Rockets went on a 9-4 run to end the quarter. So now it'll be Rayford Alston, Shane Battier, Luther Head, Yao Ming, and Juwan Howard as Jeff Van Gundy will start the 4th quarter without Tracy McGrady on the floor. Paul Millsap will bring it in to Darren Williams, Jordan Gerichek, Mehmet Okur, and Matt Harpering for the Jazz. Harpering loses the ball, but Millsap picks it up. Millsap's a lot like Chuck Hayes, a little better shooter, but he is a hustle guy. And Okur ended up with a basketball. High arching shot. Juwan Gives it over to Rafer Alston. Looking down to Yao Ming immediately. Now working on Okur. Again to the middle, and a foul, a late whistle. And I didn't think they were going to call it, guys, but there's only one reason why that ball was short. You can't tell me Matt Harper's going to block his shot.
They finally called it. They're beating up Yao's elbows. You see Yao with the great move going to the middle, right there, from behind and in front.
Who'd they call it on? Did they call it on Okur?
I think they did. He's the one who frowned up the most.
With a 6-point lead, and Jerry Sloan is not wasting any time. He's going to get Boozer and Kirilenko right back into the game. I mean, he can't afford to get down double digits now.
No, it mirrors game one. The Rockets can continue at this pace. They seem to just wear down the Utah Jazz in the second half.
And the way both teams play defense, there are not very many possessions, so you can't get down by too much, or you won't have enough possessions to get back in this game.
Yao gets them both. The Rockets have been spectacular from the free throw line. 20 of 22 for 91% for Houston, 9 of 11 for 82% for the Jazz. And the Rockets with their biggest lead of the game, 7 points. Boozer on the attack with a fadeaway. What a great shot. Okur from behind with the slam, and his first basket of the game was a slam dunk.
You had to go to the high percentage one to get it to go in.
Yep.
That's what I used to say. When in doubt, flush it. Pour it down.
Now, back outside, one extra pass. Battier open. Yes, a three-pointer for Shane Battier. Rockets now leaded by 8 points. Kirilenko fires up a three. Way off.
Ooh, that was ugly.
What's he do? He doesn't shoot 3 points.
No, that's exactly what Coach Sloan did not want.
Now back the other way. Out of the middle with a hook shot, and it's blocked.
Kirilenko doing what he does best.
Yeah, you've got to watch him from the weak side. He can come over and create havoc. Darren Williams misses a three. Ball tipped out to Juwan. Leaperhead on the run. Now to Yao again. Yao and Okur. Yao put the ball in the chest of Okur, and Okur found him.
Okur is highly frustrated at this point.
Well, it just really hasn't gone his way. He is 3 for 18 in this series.
Well, there he is. He's got a tough task trying to guard the Great Wall. It looked like there was a lot there.
Yao Ming. Working on Okur again. Yao backs it in, shoots it over Okur. And Yao Ming's starting to wear him down now. 21 points for the Great Wall. Jerry Sloan calls out a play. 10-point Houston lead. Boozer, high arching shot. He misses. Okur with a rebound. Takes it in with a hook shot short. And Yao tips it over to Luther Head. Nifty little pass to Rafer. Rafer will shoot the jumper. Yes! Rafer Alston. The Rockets on a 12-2 run. Listen to this crowd. It is really red and rowdy now. (76-64). The Rockets on a 15-2 run with 9:17 left. Let's take a look at tonight's Progressive Insurance Above the Rim replay. The crowd loving it. And even Clutch getting in on the act.
Hey, that's super clutch.
Oh, excuse me. Oh, almost knocked himself out.
Boy, he needs to have a helmet on to do that.
Not just Clutch, but the dancers are doing it as well.
Is that Patty Smith? Oh, no.
But Yao Ming has taken over this game here in the fourth quarter.
He's wearing them down.
He is wearing them down. Okur can't stop him. The Jazz have started to double team Yao on the pass. Shane Battier has knocked down a three, and the Rockets have been rolling with T-Mac on the bench.
Yeah, that's what's got to be encouraging now. Tracy is getting some much-needed rest, and the Rockets are still expanding the lead.
Well, he got him off to a good start with 12 points in the third period, and the Rockets have been able to continue on that surge.
Still plenty of time left, however. 9-point lead, and we've got a whistle, and a foul is Harpering and Battier collide.
When you see Shane Battier and Matt Harpering both on the floor, you know they are competing. Those two guys are the hustle guys. Here they are right here. They come across. They both end up on the ground. That is some competition between those two guys.
A lot of flopping going on.
And Battier with the second foul of the game. Knocked away from Boozer. Puts it up with the left hand and banked it in. Oh, Carlos Boozer, what a game. 31 points for Boozer.
He's a guy that they really need to have big games in order to try to win this series against the Rockets.
Oh. Never got to the back pass. That's about 5 or 6 times tonight. The Rockets have not been able to get him the ball.
Rockets only have 9 turnovers, though, in this game. They've been handling the basketball very well so far.
Yes, indeed. Harpering coming off the pick, and he hits. So that's back-to-back buckets now for the Jazz, and they're right back in it again, down by 8. I say right back in it. In the NBA, an 8-point lead is tenuous at best.
Well, normally, but in this game, it's like an 18-point lead.
And again, a risky pass to Yao. He saved it. He takes it in on Okur, leans it in, missed it. Boy, lots of contact.
That's the one I thought he should have just dunked.
Fisher to the basket, and 6 points in a row for the Utah Jazz. Now Jeff Van Gundy will have to call a timeout. These two teams are as good a competitors as there are in the NBA. And the Jazz answered the challenge. Down by 12, they've cut that lead in half. Had a 12-point lead. Jerry Sloan called a timeout. 6 straight points by the Utah Jazz. Yao Ming had been doing a good job of getting the Rockets that 12-point lead, Matt.
Well, Yao's been getting the ball inside deep, but the Jazz have started to double team him now. But he's still been effective even with 2 players around him. Yao's got 21 points and 7 rebounds. The Rockets need to continue to get on his back. As you see, Yao has really stepped on the gas here in the fourth quarter.
Absolutely. And what they got to do is finish this game strong. Do the things that got you the lead. Continue to pound the ball inside and make things happen. And if it doesn't work, they've been able to get to the free throw line. As the referee taunts me, giving me the ball.
Hey, you know what to do with it. You shot it.
Oh, I never saw a shot I didn't like.
Bob Delaney called a few on you, didn't he?
He called quite a few.
All right, Tracy McGrady is back in the game for Houston. So Battier will bring it in. Rockets need to score now because there you see the Rockets with a big advantage a moment ago. Now the Jazz right back in it. Austin to McGrady. Looking down to Yao again. He'll work on Okur. Yao turns, fires short. Little out of his range. So Okur's done a pretty good job on Yao Ming. He's 8 for 21. That's about as good as you can do. Rockets need some stops now. 3 straight trips by the Jazz. They have scored, and Boozer with a miss. And he was wide open.
Yeah, they executed that to perfection. Just couldn't get the shot to go down.
McGrady going left around Fisher. And a foul is called. McGrady will shoot 2. That's the 3rd team foul on the Jazz. The Rockets have 1. So Fisher has picked up his 4th foul of the game.
McGrady driving, gets it up, creates the contact, didn't finish it, but he's on the line for 2. And that's what you got to do. He's 7 for 23 from the field. So when you're not shooting the ball well, attack the basket, make something happen. You got a shorter defender on you. Take advantage of that.
Yeah, Derek Fisher is short, but he's very strong.
Again, the key word, He's sure he's got a mouse in the house. Matt, you remember that phrase.
Mouse in the house. Every time I heard it, I had to throw it to Clyde.
78-70, the Rockets take an 8-point lead. 7:10 left to play in the game. Boozer wide open. He was shot. And Battier came over and fouled him. So Boozer turned around, and he was absolutely shocked that there was nobody in front of him.
Now here's the pick and roll. See, as Harpering cuts off, so here's the pick, and Yao's going to step out. Now someone's got to come over to pick up the roller. It's Shane Battier, but he's too late. That's the problem when you have Yao Ming stepping out on a small ball handler, and a big man like Boozer rolling to the basket. Puts too much pressure on the back line of your defense.
But the weak side has got to see that and be ready to anticipate that. They were very slow in getting over there.
Right, you got to be in position early so you can cut off that roll to the basket.
Carlos Boozer with a new career high, 32 points in the playoffs. And make it 33. 11 of 13 from the line for 85% for the Jazz. Rockets 22 of 24 for 92%. Back to a 6-point Houston lead. Rafer takes it inside, draws the foul from Boozer. Rafer did a very smart thing then, Clyde.
Attack a shot blocker, go right into their chest, force the contact, make them hit you, and you still have a chance for the and one. Very intelligent play by Rafer Alston. The give and go with Tracy McGrady, who unselfishly gives it right back. Look at the offhand. He draws the contact, and he's on the line for two.
And that cut by Rafer really is just him getting out of the way, but T-Mac makes it effective by looking at him.
Yeah. Rafer with 9 points, 5 assists, and 6 rebounds. McGrady 25 points, 4 assists, and 6 rebounds. Gets them both. 10 points now for Rafer. McGrady 25, Yao 21, 10 for Hayes, and 8 for Battier. Rockets managed only 6 points off the bench, but the starters have been in most of the way. Derek Fisher goes down the baseline, cut off by Yao, and he lost it. McGrady's got it. McGrady gets a pick from Yao Ming. T-Mac rattles, won't go, tipped out of bounds by Juwan Howard.
Interesting to me that Juwan Howard is in the game here in the fourth quarter. He only has 2 points. He is 0 for 4 from the field. Chuck Hayes has got 10, but Van Gundy feels like he needs the shooter on the court in the fourth.
Open up the court, but Chuck Hayes has 2 points and 11 boards, so that's an interesting observation.
And Williams turns the corner, got open, Yao with a block and a late whistle. And the foul on Yao Ming. Boy, what a late whistle that was, and Yao picks up his 4th foul of the game with 6:15 left to play, and Darren Williams will shoot 2.
Remember, Yao had 3 at halftime. Let's take a look and see if he does get him on the head. Looks like he does.
That was a smackdown.
So Yao was able to play a quarter and a half with 3 fouls before picking up his 4th.
Believe me, that hurts. If you're driving the lane, you're suspended in the air, and someone smacks you in the head, and he's coming down with a lot of leverage, you'll feel that for a couple of days.
So Darren Williams gets them both. Both teams shooting excellent from the free throw line here tonight. 6-point Houston lead. 6:10 left to play. McGrady and Fisher again. McGrady rises up and hits. Over Fisher. There's your short guy.
That's the first jump shot that T-Mac has shot tonight that's looked right to me.
Yeah.
In his rhythm. He just raised right over the shot of Derek Fisher and just made the easy jumper.
Double team. Boozer gets it back. Okur keeps it moving. Fisher with a 3-pointer. He missed it. Long rebound to T-Mac, and he'll hold on. Rockets up by 8 points. 5.5 minutes left to play in game 2. McGrady rises up again. This time it's way off the mark. McGrady saves it to Juwan. Oh, and a collision. Who are they going to call this on? Nobody had the ball. How do you call that?
Oh, it's a free ball.
Darren Williams is still down. the crowd not happy with this call, but Darren Williams took it in the head. He is still down.
I don't think he's flopping. I think that there was a lot of contact.
Let me ask you guys. This is anybody's ball, right?
It's a free ball.
Well, how do you call a foul on Shane Battier?
Shane Battier is just going to catch that ball.
Because Shane Battier, Darren Williams got the bad end of the collision. That's the only thing I can think about.
Well, you'd have to think that Shane was going after him, right? I mean, look, either one of those. They're both going for the basketball.
Yeah, that's a tough call to call either way, but Darren Williams is on the ground. The side of his face went right into Shane Battier's shoulder. He does not look good on the floor right now. They're checking to see if he has any feeling in the side of that face.
Well, that's a 14 foul, so both teams are in the penalty now for the final 5:24. All right, now watch his real speed again, Matt.
Well, take a look at this. This has got to hurt.
Darren Williams was on a dead sprint. I don't think he ever saw Shane Battier, and those are the ones that hurt the most.
He'll think tomorrow he was skiing.
He might not even remember tonight.
You know that well, huh? Well, I hope the young man's okay. He's a terrific player.
Exactly. He's such a nice young player. He's coming into his own, about to reach all-star status. But in the playoffs, you got to lay it on the line, guys. And they talk about the physicality of the playoffs. Well, you saw it firsthand on that play.
Well, we're going to have a timeout with 5:24 left to play. And the Rockets lead by 8. When we come back, the Jazz will have the basketball. Time to look at tonight's Gatorade Endurance player, Rafer Alston, 40 minutes, 10 points. Comes off of 42 minutes in game 1.
Actually, 46 minutes in game 1, only sat a minute and a half.
Yeah, that's true.
And so tonight, the way the Rockets play when he's on the bench, I'd play him the whole game.
Absolutely. His value to the team is distributing the ball.
Williams lost the ball out of bounds. And Bob Delaney said that it went off his foot.
There's no back-to-backs in the playoffs. Rafer can play the whole game. It's all right.
Hey, this is where your season is on the line. You leave it all out there.
I asked Bob Delaney during the timeout why he called that on Shane. And he said because Shane was going at Darren Williams. That was his explanation and the reason he made the call. And Delaney's one of the good officials. McGrady to the basket. Missed it. Yao cleans it up. Off the glass. Won't go. Rockets had a couple of golden opportunities. 82-74. Almost a steal by Rafer. 4:50 left to play in the game. And Yao tips it away from Boozer. Now they start the offense, but only 5 seconds left. Okura has to shoot it up and in. And that's the first basket, second basket that he has made in this game.
First jump shot. His other one is a dunk.
Yeah.
The Rockets played that pick and roll there. They just left Okura. Juwan had to try to recover to him. That just shows you they have no respect in his jump shot right now.
Well, he's struggling, and he's showing signs that he doesn't have any confidence.
Back to a 2-possession game now. 6-point Houston lead. Inside for Rafer Alston. Took it inside and contact. No whistle. Williams with the basketball. 4:12 left to play. Harping looking to Boozer. Boozer back to Williams. Boozer turns. Baseline jumper. Got it.
Woo. Talk about high arcing shot. When it's going, Boozer has it going tonight.
35 points for Carlos Boozer. Rockets really need a basket here. 3:52 left to play. McGrady to Yao. Check from the outside, and he hits. Gordon Garicek, and it's still a 4-point Houston lead.
It's down to winning time. This is when you've got to make the plays. Each possession is so important.
And a foul on Garicek. They are in the penalty now, and Tracy McGrady will be at the line to shoot 2. Chuck Hayes checks back into the game for Juwan Howard.
Look at the drive by Tracy McGrady. Throws it up. The greatness, the skill. Saw Yao on the roll, wide open. Throws it up. The best way to give it to the big man is in the air, high. And he does exactly that. Wonderful execution. That's what you'd like to see in a close game going down the stretch from your 2 superstars.
T-Mac with 28 points. Yao Ming with 23. And he gets them both. Everything is key now. Every possession is golden. 86-80. Rockets up by 6 points. 3:08 left to play in the game. Garicek with a 3. Off the mark. And Yao is fouled by Boozer over the back. 4th foul on Carlos Boozer. Yao had the inside position, Matt.
He was definitely over the back of Yao Ming. When you climb the back of a 7'6" center, it's obvious to everyone on the floor. The ball goes up. Definitely over the back. Great block out by Yao Ming. Had he not put his body on him, Boozer would have had that rebound.
And the great thing about Yao, he's an 86% free throw shooter. That is such a great weapon to have in your bag. Being able to make the free throws.
A center that you can go to who can shoot free throws down the stretch.
So Yao with pressure free throws. The Rockets are 28 of 30 from the free throw line for 93%. Okor is open. And he misses. And McGrady goes and gets it. Rockets with an 8-point lead. 2:37 left to play. McGrady directing traffic. They're on their feet in Toyota Center. Battier. Rafer Alston from the corner. Short. Yao's got it. And Chuck Hayes puts it in. A double-double for Chuck Hayes. 10 points, 11 rebounds. Boozer taking it in, and a foul is called on Yao Ming. That's number 5 on Yao. So now a decision for Jeff Van Gundy.
Here's Chuck Hayes on the other end. Before Van Gundy makes this decision, he catches the loose ball. The Chuck wagon puts it back in, and the bench loves it. I don't care that Chuck Hayes can't make a jump shot. He's very effective on that court.
Very effective. If you look at his numbers, he's got 12 points, 12 rebounds in tonight's game so far.
Rockets make 4 pressure free throws in a row, and Boozer misses the first of 2. Yeah, the Chuck wagon is rolling again tonight, isn't he?
Chuck wagon is fired up. He's all-out hustle, all-out energy, all the time.
One more free throw for Carlos Boozer, who's having a career night. He missed them both. Rockets trying to build on an 8-2 run. Garicek bumping McGrady on the outside. McGrady to Hayes. Hayes finds Battier, and it won't go down. Boy, that would have done it. 148, 147 left to play. Rockets trying to play good defense still. Inside to Boozer for the slam, and Carlos Boozer with 37 points.
And what the Rockets have got to do now is run some time. The clock is your friend.
Yep.
Milk the clock.
Brady turns the corner, and he misses the shot, and Boozer with a rebound. Quick shot by Houston. That surprise you, Clyde?
Yes, very, very surprising. Should run that down to 22 seconds, 23 seconds.
And Boozer keeps him in the game. 39 points. Carlos Boozer not going anywhere. Rockets 6-point lead now. Jeff Van Gundy needs a timeout. Well, the Rockets had a 10-point lead. Jazz had scored 2 in a row. What we thought this series would be like, neither team going away. Well, just a few moments ago, the Rockets had a 10-point lead, but Carlos Boozer keeping the Jazz in the game. He's got 39 points, Matt, and really a heroic effort by Boozer.
Yeah, obviously 39 is his playoff career high, but 41 is his career high overall, so he's only 2 points away from that. He adds 12 rebounds and 6 assists to that. What a game by Carlos Boozer.
He now has a double-double in all but one game against the Rockets this season, and he has been very effective. But the Rockets still have a chance to win it now if they just play smart.
Well, it's a 2-possession game. There's still plenty of time for anything to happen. So what they do on this possession is going to be key. If they do nothing else, run the shot clock down as much as possible.
1:13 left to play. Rockets lead it by 6. Both teams are in the penalty. And both teams have 2 timeouts remaining. Mathieu to Alston. McGrady again with Giricek right in his lap. McGrady, tough shot. Oh! Tracy McGrady! Cold-blooded! T-Mac.
And that could have been the dagger that pushed the Jazz away.
Oh! Well, no, it isn't.
Well, they're still fighting.
As Matt Hartwig puts it up and in.
It's critical the Rockets win this game in regulation. Yao's got 5 fouls.
Now outside, 8 seconds on the shot clock. Mathieu turns inside. Mathieu to the basket, draws the foul from Okur. And he is fouled out of the game. Mehmet Okur with 6. Boy, that was a big, big play by Shane Battier.
Well, with you're up 6, they got 30 seconds left when he had the ball, and he took it to the basket, and that's the best thing you can do. Make him foul you or run somebody over, one or the other.
Tonight's Landry Signature Group Rockets players of the game. Yao Ming and T-Mac. Yao with 25 points, 9 rebounds. T-Mac with 31 points, 10 rebounds.
Look at the combination numbers between those two guys. Huge numbers for those two, but huge free throws for Shane Battier right there.
Rockets have made 8 straight free throws down the stretch. Boozer gets it inside for 2. 21 seconds left to play. 94-88.
Still a 2-possession game. I look for the Jazz to foul.
Well, that's the guy you want them to foul, and they got to get it 8 seconds across. They do. Alston, and he's fouled by Giricek. Well, yeah, look at, he's showing the official where they cut him with a fingernail.
And they were trying to foul him. Look at this, they're trying to foul Yao right here. And the Jazz coaches are mad that they didn't call it because that was at 19 seconds. Now watch how much time runs off before they finally get a foul.
Yeah, the Jazz coaches are upset. You're right.
Yeah, they were trying to commit the foul. They were all over Yao like a cheap suit.
You don't know what a cheap suit looks like, Clyde.
Sure don't. Well, Alston missed the free throw, so that breaks the string of 8 free throws down the stretch as Luther Head will check in now for Yao. Yao's got a gash on his arm. Man, that looks like somebody took a knife to him.
He's got to go get it. He's got to go get that covered up. He can't play when he's bleeding.
Now they won't let him play.
Unbelievable.
They wouldn't call the foul, and now they won't let him play. Unbelievable. Is right.
They used to say no blood, no foul. Well, in that instance, there was blood.
And still no foul.
So we have a 20-second timeout taken by the Jazz. The Jazz will still have 1 timeout left. And there you see Carmelo Anthony and Allen Iverson with a huge game last night in San Antonio. Yao Ming and Tracy McGrady with a huge game tonight.
Well, those are season numbers right there. Those are season numbers. Look at Yao and T-Mac tonight, game 1 and game 2.
Well, I believe Carmelo and Iverson had 62 last.
They did.
Yes.
Don't expect those guys to do that every single night and beat the San Antonio Spurs. I'm saying that the Spurs are going to win that too.
I agree with you, Matt. The Spurs are too strong defensively. They'll find a way to stop Melo and Allen Iverson.
All right, here we go. The final 14 seconds of this game. And it's the Rockets up 95-88. So you go to Boozer again, right?
Well, I think they're desperate. They got to go for 3.
Yeah, they're down by 7, so it's a 3-possession game. They've got to get a 3 now. They've got Harpring, Gierczek, Okur is a 3-point shooter.
Okur has led them in 3-point shooting this season as Jerry Sloan looks on now. Harpring will be in there with Gierczek, Boozer, Okur. Now Shane is on Okur. They take it down to Boozer, and Boozer lost the ball out of bounds, so the Rockets will have it. Now Yao Ming will check back into the game.
Now last time they threw the ball to Yao right from out of bounds. Look for that again, because Yao is the best free throw shooter on this team.
3-possession game. Basically, this one's over, fellas.
There it is, the foul as Darren Williams fouls Yao Ming, the best shooter on the Houston Rockets team. You know, he didn't throw the ball high enough then.
He didn't.
I was a little worried with that inbounds pass.
He threw it to a guy who was 6'6", and he could have thrown it to the guy who was 7'6".
All right, Yao Ming will have the 2 free throws. 12 seconds left to play. So now we're going to go back to Salt Lake City, fellas, and that's not an easy place to play if you're the visiting team.
Well, there's a lot of pressure on the Jazz because they go down, they go home, they're down 0-2. The Rockets get either one of those games, this series could turn dramatically.
We're taking the whole gang with us, the Fox gang. It'll be you and Matt, Bart Ennis, and yours truly. As we will have full coverage for you on FSN Houston. Darren Williams hits the 3 and quickly into Luther Head, and he is fouled. So with 6.8 left, Luther will have 2 free throws.
Well, Gierczek fouls out. He's been hounding Tracy McGrady all night.
Hounding Tracy to 31 points.
Yeah, he held Tracy to 31, but T-Mac did shoot it 29 times to get those 31 points.
That's right. That's a good point, Matt, because Tracy still hasn't had his good shooting game yet. And if the Rockets can win the first 2 with McGrady shooting around 30-something%, they're going to be in pretty good shape.
That just tells you how great of a player T-Mac is, and he can hit 31 even with only making 9 field goals.
Exactly. It also says a lot about the Rockets' defense, that they can contain a team and give a guy an opportunity to shoot that many times until he gets it going.
No doubt.
And stay in the game in the process. But, you know, everyone knows that T-Mac and Yao are going to take the Rockets wherever they go. It's up to those 2 guys.
What has to be a bigger shock for Utah? They got 41 points from Carlos Boozer and still lost the game. There it is. It's over. And the Houston Rockets hold serve. The Rockets win the first 2 games at home. And now we're off to Salt Lake City. Yao Ming with 27 points, 9 rebounds. T-Mac 31 points, 10 rebounds. They lead the Rockets to victory, 98-90. Stay right here. Coming up after the break, we'll have complete post-game coverage on Rockets Live.